Welcome to the Mushroom Mind, the podcast that digs deep into the fascinating world of fungi. I'm your host, Michael Woodson. From the forest floor to the laboratory bench, we explore the mushrooms that shape our world and our health. Today, we're tackling a legend.
A big one.
It's been called the mushroom of immortality and the king of medicinal mushrooms. We are talking about Reishi, or Ganoderma lucidum. And to help us separate the myth from the science, we're thrilled to have Dr. Amelia Morel back on the show. Dr. Morel is a mycologist and a leading researcher in ethnomycology and bioactive fungal compounds. Amelia, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Michael. It's always a pleasure. And with reishi, there's certainly a lot to talk about.
I bet.
It has one of the longest documented histories of medicinal use, over 2,000 years in traditional Chinese medicine.
That's incredible. So when we talk about reishi's health benefits, what are we actually talking about on a molecular level? What's inside this shiny, lacquered-looking mushroom that makes it so special?
That's the perfect place to start. Reishi is a powerhouse of over 400 bioactive compounds. But if we had to focus on the two main superstars, it would be the polysaccharides, specifically beta-glucans, and a class of compounds called triterpenoids, like ganoderic acids. Think of it this way. The polysaccharides are the immune system's personal trainers, and the triterpenoids are the sophisticated, multi-talented troubleshooters.
An immune system personal trainer. I love that analogy. How does that work?
Right.
What are they training the immune system to do?
It's about modulation, not just boosting. A chronically overboosted immune system can be problematic. Think autoimmune diseases or severe allergic reactions. Reishi's polysaccharides help the immune system act smarter. They don't just hit the gas pedal. Instead, they interact with key immune cells like macrophages, T cells, and natural killer cells. A 2023 review in Frontiers in Immunology highlighted how these compounds can enhance the body's surveillance system, making it more efficient at finding and eliminating threats without causing excessive collateral damage.
So it's less of a sledgehammer and more of a symphony conductor, making sure every part of the immune orchestra is playing in harmony.
Exactly. And this is why it's studied so much as an adjunct therapy in oncology. Multiple reviews, including a comprehensive one in Cancer Investigation, show that when used alongside chemotherapy or radiation, certain reishi extracts can increase the activity of these natural killer cells, which are crucial for fighting tumors. But we have to be very clear, this is supportive. Most strong anti-cancer evidence is from in vitro or animal studies.
That's a really important distinction. It's not a cure, but a powerful supportive agent. Now, that brings us to the other superstars you mentioned, the triterpenoids. You called them the troubleshooters. What kind of trouble are they shooting?
Well, the triterpenoids are responsible for that characteristic bitter taste of reishi. And they have a huge range of effects. They are potent anti-inflammatory agents. They work by inhibiting key inflammatory pathways like NF-κB, which is essentially a master switch for inflammation in the body. By dialing this pathway down, they can help reduce the chronic, low-grade inflammation that is a root cause of so many modern diseases.
I've seen this linked directly to heart health and metabolic syndrome. How do the compounds and reishi work there?
It's a multi-pronged attack. For cardiovascular health, a 2021 review in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology detailed how some triterpenoids can inhibit ACE.
ACE,
That's the angiotensin converting enzyme.
This is the same mechanism used by some very common blood pressure medications. That's fascinating. It's targeting the same pathway as a conventional pharmaceutical.
Precisely, and that's not all. Other compounds in reishi have shown an ability to inhibit HMG-CoA reductase, the key enzyme in the body's cholesterol production pathway. On the metabolic side, the effects on blood sugar are very compelling. A study in rats with metabolic syndrome, referenced in a 2023 PMC article, found that a 70 milligrams per kilogram ethanol extract of reishi exhibited significant hyperglycemic and anti-dyslipidemic activity.
So it helped with both high blood sugar and poor lipid profiles.
Yes, and another animal study on diabetic cardiomyopathy was even more specific. Mice given 300 milligrams per kilogram of reishi spores for 70 days saw their blood glucose levels drop by 20.3%
Wow.
and their triglycerides by 20.3%.
Wow, 20% is a huge number. But again, that was in mice, right? What have we seen in human studies for metabolic health?
Right, and the human data is more mixed, which points to the complexity here. However, there are promising results. One placebo-controlled study used a specific polysaccharide extract called Ganoderma. Patients with type 2 diabetes taking 1,800 milligrams 3 times a day for 12 weeks saw significant reductions in both fasting and post-meal glucose levels, plus their HbA1c. But conversely, other studies using different extracts or lower doses found no significant effect.
This highlights a critical point you made earlier. Not all reishi products are created equal. The extraction method, the part of the mushroom used, whether it's the fruiting body, spores, or mycelium, and the dosage are all vitally important.
Yes, absolutely. Bioavailability is key. This is why you often see dual extract tinctures on the market. The polysaccharides are water-soluble,
Right.
so you get them from a hot water decoction, but the triterpenoids are alcohol-soluble. A dual extract combines both methods to offer a fuller spectrum of compounds.
It sounds like the science is solid, but the application in commercial products can be a bit of a Wild West. That must be a major challenge for consumers.
It is, and it's why we have to talk about safety and limitations. Generally, reishi is well tolerated, but it's not for everyone. People on blood thinners like warfarin should be cautious, as reishi can have a mild antiplatelet effect,
Okay.
potentially increasing bleeding risk. WebMD and other health authorities advise discontinuing use at least 2 weeks before any surgery.
And what about its immune modulating effects?
That's the other big one. For those on immunosuppressant drugs, perhaps after an organ transplant or for an autoimmune condition like rheumatoid arthritis,
Right.
reishi's effects could theoretically interfere with the medication. And while extremely rare, there have been case reports of liver toxicity, usually associated with taking the raw mushroom powder for extended periods rather than traditional water extracts or teas.
This suggests the form matters immensely for safety, not just efficacy. As always, and we can't stress this enough,
Yeah.
serious, consult a healthcare professional before starting any new potent supplement. That's such sound advice. Okay, we've spent a lot of time on the incredible science. I'm curious, for our listeners who are mushroom lovers and maybe even growers, what's the story with cultivating reishi?
Oh, good question.
It looks so different from, say, an oyster or shiitake mushroom.
Oh, it's a fascinating process. Reishi is a polypore, a wood-decaying fungus, so you grow it on hardwood substrate. The traditional method is on logs,
Okay.
which can be slow and can take a year or more. The modern, faster method is on sterilized hardwood sawdust blocks, which can produce mushrooms in a couple of months.
I've seen pictures of these grown in bags and they look like antlers. How does that happen?
That's the really cool part. You can shape its growth with carbon dioxide. If you grow it in a sealed bag with high CO2, it won't form the classic fan-shaped conk. Instead, it grows into those amazing, intricate antler forms. To get the familiar, shiny, reddish-brown, kidney-shaped conk,
Right.
you have to introduce fresh air. This signals the fungus to flatten out and form its cap to release spores.
And that amazing lacquer-like shine on top?
The mushroom produces it naturally as it matures. For home growers, starting with a colonized sawdust block is a great entry point, but you can't just slice it up and saute it. It's incredibly tough, woody, and bitter. The only way to use it is through extraction,
Right, like a tea.
like simmering dried slices for a tea or making a tincture.
So we've covered the ancient myths, the modern science, and even how to grow and prepare it. Dr. Morel, this has been an incredibly insightful discussion. You've given us a clear, evidence-based look at the king of mushrooms.
The pleasure was all mine, Michael. Reishi is a perfect example of where ancient wisdom and modern science intersect.
Absolutely. And there's still so much more to learn. The research is constantly evolving. And for our listeners who are inspired to start their own journey with this incredible fungus, you can find high-quality reishi spawn, ready-to-fruit cultivation blocks, and even expertly